congratulations, and welcome back to TIFF. Always
Thank
wonderful.
you.
I have actually Felicity Jones coming in a few. I was kind of hoping that you.
Oh,
guys
is she
were gonna
coming
come.
here
She's
right
coming
now?
here, not now, but in about an hour or so.
Oh,
So
shoot.
you might even bump into her in the
I'm
halls.
sure I'll see her somewhere
Yeah.
here. My phone is off
Okay,
because
good.
of roaming charges that I don't want to pay. So I have friends here that I don't even know how to contact.
You can get special packages for Canada,
I know, and I didn't. Clearly.
Well, next time you come
Next
back,
time
you will get organized.
Next TIFF, I will have every Verizon package that they make.
We might even have them here by then, so who knows, right? Well, congratulations on this, and what an odd little film, but really, I loved it. And
Thank
I first wanted to ask you, what's with you and the vampire thing? Because we had Fright Night going, and now another, I know you're not a vampire, but really, is this something that
I don't know, it's funny because Mia and I have both done vampire movies, and so we were talking about that, I think, at work one day. I don't know, honestly, for me, this isn't a vampire film. It's a love story, It uses the generic device of vampires to just think about eternity, and what that really means for a human being, and how, as humans, we are all faced with the ephemeral, and what happens when you're not, and how do you feel about humanity then, and, and I'm lucky. I'm very grateful because in all the work that I've done, I'm able to play very different characters, regardless of the film. And I love this character so much.
Yeah, and it was kind of hippie, the wig,
Great wig. Gosh, I was just looking at the screen the other day going, God, I would love to have that hair. Incredible.
Well, just let it grow.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's like legitimate German wig making,
The creme de la creme.
Yeah, it's the creme de la creme.
And then working with somebody like Tom Hiddleston, I'm sorry, but by far he is absolutely one of my favorite dudes to talk to. He is, couldn't be nicer.
He's lovely.
Him and Hugh Jackman have the nice thing going on between them. I don't know, they could duke it out who's nicer. I don't know, they're pretty close. Working with somebody like that must have been fantastic for you.
Yeah, it's a really tremendous pleasure. Tom is so wonderfully eloquent that I just love listening to him, and not just eloquent for the sake of sounding eloquent. He's an incredibly intelligent human being, and playing with him, Adam, in an interesting way, Ian and Adam are also like yin and yang, the way that Adam and Eve are yin and yang. It's that secretly Adam really kind of loves Ian, And you see it a little bit, when he loses him. It's heartbreaking. He's his only friend. And in playing that was really enjoyable because he's very rude to Ian the whole time. But Ian loves him and would do anything for him in the most genuine way because he recognizes his genius, And I really enjoyed exploring that with Tom. It's a privilege to work with actors that are very intelligent and, of course, extremely talented. And
Tilda Swinton, too.
Well, yeah, everyone's amazing. Mia, and I didn't get to work with John Hurt or Jeffrey Wright, but I'm just such a tremendous fan watching them. That
you must still be learning.
I met Jeffrey Wright actually for a minute, but I didn't get to shoot with him.
Yeah, but you've got to be sucking it up from all these actors you work with.
Always. And Jim, is this magical human being that I'm so grateful to have in my life and learn from. That I am really privileged to be able to learn from all these people all the time.
Yeah, I love the fact that Adam and Eve, they're so old, centuries and centuries old, that they, he has pictures of people that he's met from thousands of years ago. So I was just thinking, if you look back and any time period, if you could have hung out with somebody from, for forever ago, who would you love to have hung out with?
I would have hung out with the syphilitic Nietzsche. Or pre-syphilitic, either way. I could take it either way. I would have loved to have hung out with, like Keats, Issa, the poet, the haiku poet from the 19th century. I don't know, I don't speak Japanese, so there may have been a bit of a language barrier there, but if I'm going to go back in the centuries, maybe I can adopt Japanese as well.
Yeah, I think it would just be natural.
And I would love to have hung out with Gene Vincent or Elvis, and that's not too far off. That's not centuries. That's only 60 years. Nero, when he burned down Rome, maybe.
What was he thinking?
Going, dude, what are you doing? You realize you're burning this city down right now.
And you're working on a film actually written by William Shakespeare. But what about hanging with Shakespeare?
You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, who knows if I could have, you know, who knows. I would have loved to have hung out with John Donne. Donne's one of my favorite poets, so I would love to have been around him and his, like, 14-year-old wife or
Would have been
whatever.
very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it when you get a script now? What really think, now you look, I mean, you must get so much stuff if you've got a lot of things coming around, but, you know, what really pegs it for you now?
I think it's always been the people involved and really characters, you know? I mean, I think to the point where I've made mistakes where I've gone into meetings with people and just been like, okay, I'm going to gamble on this and say I like this character more than the other, you know? And sometimes it doesn't work out, you know? And I just love the idea that, okay, this is a challenge. Like, how do I do this? How do I accomplish this? How do I embody this physically and emotionally, you know?
Yeah, no, well, you do a great job. Was it
Thank
hard
you.
getting the Russian accent back for Chekhov, or did they come right back to
No,
you?
oddly, it was weird watching my own work to say, like, okay, how do I do this again? And watching the old shows is always a pleasure. Such a pleasure. So I had a good time.
Oh, yeah, it's fun to watch you do it again. Coming up, we have a few things. One, I do want to ask you about his writer list. We just briefly spoke about it. But, you know, directed by William H. Macy, his directorial debut. I don't know what it took him so long to get behind the camera, but that had to have been a phenomenal experience.
It really was. It really was. Also another great character that I was really happy to play and working with Billy and it's interesting because it's another relationship between, it's different though, it's much more of a surrogate father-son relationship in this film and Bill is just wonderful to be around. He's also, I have such tremendous respect for him and he's just kind of this wonderful ukulele playing, motorcycle riding, incredible human being that I felt very privileged to be around, you know, and I had a great time. We shot in Oklahoma City, and the people of Oklahoma City were very kind to us. I had a great time.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, I can't just imagine what his energy is like.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, I had such a great time working with him, and I felt like I learned a lot as well, just talking to him about character and acting and many different things.
Very cool. Right now you're working on a film, as we said, it's Cymbeline?
Cymbeline.
Yeah, Cymbeline. Can you just tell me quickly about it?
Yeah, Cymbeline is a play of Shakespeare's. It's a later play, I believe, and has the odd reputation of being both a historical, a pastoral, a tragedy, and having comic qualities. So it's sort of a jambalaya, can I say that? A jambalaya of Shakespearean elements. And I'm working with a filmmaker named Michael Almereyda, who I really respect. Michael's a really interesting filmmaker and a wonderful filmmaker, and I'm very excited about it.
Dakota Johnson's in that.
Dakota is, yeah.
He just got cast as the big 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you thinking about that?
You know, I honestly know very little about 50 Shades of Grey, so I'm very happy for Dakota. She's lovely, and but I don't know anything about it, so.
And I'm glad to hear that, my friend.
Yeah, don't know much about it.
Just impressed me big time.
Yeah.
With that, we have to wrap up, but
Cool.
just